What's going on, YouTube? And hello all my tackle hoarders out there. APFA here again, and from what you can tell in the title, I put together a list of lures that you can get the fishermen for Christmas or somebody wanting to get into bass fishing. This list is inexpensive lures, but they are very, very effective. They are easy to use and great starter baits. And the first lure on the list I want to get to is a must-have, and that lure is the spinner baits. If you don't know, this is a spinner bait. Very, very inexpensive, but very, very effective. I throw a spinner bait all the time. Every time I go out fishing, I throw a spinner bait. They come in a variety of colors. They come in different weights, but usually you can find these relatively cheap, even from the big name stores, Cabela's, Gander Mountain, Walmart. You know, you can find them for $2 to $3. I have a ton of these. I love throwing them. This one is set up with a Colorado blade, that's the little blade in front, and a willow blade in the back. That's my preferred setup. Some of these come with just a willow blade or just a Colorado blade, but I prefer both these blades on there. And that is just to give it more flash and more vibration in the water. Now, colors, they come in a bunch of different colors. I'm not really going to get into colors on all these lures here that I put together because I don't know where you're fishing and I don't know what the fish like in your area. Me, I'm in Wisconsin, so I mainly fish 3 colors. This is a fire tiger color, which is a chartreuse, a green, and an orange. I also like to throw a white and chartreuse or white and green. That seems to work the best for me. Blade configuration determines on the fisherman, but like I said though, these are all simple baits. It really doesn't matter what you start out with, but start out cheap. I mean, you can buy spinner baits that are up to $8, $9, $10 a piece. I don't do that. I always buy the inexpensive ones for $2 to $3. Stock up on them in the beginning of the season, and I'm not upset if I miss one, get hung up or bit off by a northern or something like that. Doesn't really matter to me. The second lure I'd like to get into, this is called a buzzbait. If you don't know, this is a buzzbait. This is a surface lure. Good calm water, early morning bait to use. Basically, this part of the lure right here runs underneath the water. This blade runs underneath the surface, spins like that, and just creates a disturbance on the water. You can slow roll these just as long as you keep that blade spinning. That's all you need to do. Very good, effective top water bait. These come also in a variety of colors and also are very inexpensive. Now again, you can find these very cheap, $2 to $3. Now you can find these lures more expensive, but in case I get bit off by a northern, musky, get it hung up and break the line, I'm not too worried about it. Like I said, cheap but effective. Now, keeping with the bladed baits, right here I have a chatterbait. Now what this bait is a variation of a spinnerbait. These baits and spinnerbaits will sink unless you are reeling. The slower the speed, the lower they stay in the water column. Basically, this bait will run like this, and then the blade will just vibrate and thump in the water like that. Now these can get more expensive. But these are very good baits. They run around $5 to $8 depending on what you buy for any brand. These are the original chatterbaits by Z-Man. You can put a trailer on these. I like to rig these with a swim bait. I won't get into those too much, but very, very effective. Again, colors on these, I like to throw, this is a white and like chartreuse, like a green. Then I also like to throw black and blue. But when I throw a trailer on these, I like to match the lure. Now, I'm not going to throw a red or a brown or a black on this. I'm going to throw a white or something lighter in color on this, just to match the lure. And what a trailer will do is just add extra vibration depending on the trailer you put on it. Now, you can also put a trailer on the spinnerbaits too, like a plastic worm, which I'll get into in a second here, or even a swim bait like that. If you want to, a lot of guys will put on a extra hook called a stinger hook or trailer hook on those in case the bass comes up or whatever fish comes up and hits it short, because this blade sticks out way longer than the hook does. And if they come up and eat it short, just take that blade instead of the hook, you still got a better chance of hookup. Next bait I want to get into are pre-rigged swim baits. This is basically what I was talking about. I'll pull one out and show you guys. This is obviously, I don't know if you guys saw or not, this is a Cabela's. These are all pre-rigged, very inexpensive. The 4-pack was about $5. And this is a pre-rigged swim bait, which means the hook is molded in to the bait. This is called a paddle tail swim bait. And basically what this bait does in the water is you throw it out and you reel it in, and whatever speed you reel it in, this tail back here, this paddle tail, is going to wag back and forth. And the way it's designed, it's going to thump, okay? And the bait is going to rock back and forth like this through the water. Now, obviously, the faster you reel, the faster it's going to wobble. So you can retrieve this at any speed. And the single hook here, everything I've showed you so far has a single hook on it. And the reason that is because it will not hang up in cover, brush, as often as a crankbait with a treble hook. And I'll show you guys a treble hooked crankbait in a second. So let me get this back in the package. Now, crankbaits can get expensive. You can find them on sale depending the season. Like right now we're in November and stuff is going out of season in Wisconsin here. So a lot of the local places you can buy lures are on sale because there's not a big demand for them right now. They want to empty out stock and get ready for next season. So just look around online. A lot of good places to look, like Tackle Warehouse. I buy a lot of stuff from Tackle Warehouse. And towards the end of the season, October, November, especially into December, they run a lot of specials for Christmas. You can find a lot of these baits really, really cheap. At one point, that were really, really expensive. But the best thing for you to do is to go to a Walmart. You can find the buzz baits and the spinner baits. Very, very cheap nowadays. Even during the fishing season, they're very, very cheap. Just look around, you'll find them $2.50 to $3.50, no problem, all year long. Like I said, that's all I throw for spinner baits, and the buzz baits is the cheap ones. But I still catch fish. They still hold up pretty well, depending on the fish. I have northerns that bend them up pretty good. You can try to bend them back into shape and use them, but for $2.50, $3, you're not upset. Compared to like some of the $6 spinner baits you can buy. I'm not too upset if I can't use it again. A couple of bucks down the drain, no big deal. I still have a ton left. Okay, but this is a crankbait. Right here, this is a square bill crankbait. See if I can focus in on the square bill. The bill is square. These are another bait. You just throw them out, reel them in, and all they do is wiggle on the way back. Some come with rattles, some don't. This one's got a rattle in it. These can get a little expensive, $5 to $8 to even $15 a crankbait. One thing to note, the bigger the bill, the deeper it's going to go. So this is a square bill. It dives about 2.5 to 4 feet, depending on how you fish it and your setup. You can buy ones that will dive down to 20 feet. I fish a lot of heavy cover, so I like to fish these over the cover so I get shallow running crankbaits. So I either get square bills or short bills like that. They come in a variety of colors, any color you can think of, as simple as a black, a red, a chrome, a white, all the way to like this one is a bluegill. And you can get pretty crazy with the colors there. Colors up to you. Now the most versatile baits you can buy a fisherman or somebody that's getting into fishing is soft plastics. And the number one soft plastic I believe that is used, that everybody uses, is a plastic worm. This is a ribbon tail or curly tail worm. Everybody's got them, everybody uses them, everybody fishes them, along with the spinnerbait, buzzbait, crankbaits. There's a ton of companies, ton of colors that you can choose from. I mean, there's every color you can think of, and some you can't even think of. You Texas rig these, which means the hook isn't exposed, which means you can fish these in thick cover. Very, very versatile bait. You can fish it fast, you can fish it slow, you can swim it back, you can jig it back, you can do a stop and start, just as long as you keep that tail moving, the worm moving. It's going to provide some action, and bass just love them. The 3 companies I fish with that I use the most is Culprit, and that's the worm I just showed you, the Culprit. I really like Zoom for their bigger worms. And I like the Power Worm by Berkley. Most colors that I use personally, I like a black or a variation of black with blue flake. This one is called a gooseberry, which is a black and purple. But my main colors I like to fish with are a watermelon with any kind of flake in it, red flake, black flake, anything like that. Watermelon, green pumpkin, black, like this Power Worm here. This is completely black. Or black with the chartreuse tail, which means the tail is a green color. I Texas rig these. I Carolina rig these. I mock up a Mojo rig with these. That's all a different story though. There's plenty of videos online that'll show you how to rig all these. Maybe I'll do one in the future. I don't know. But that is the rundown of the most effective and, for the most part, fairly cheap baits you can get somebody started on for bass fishing or buy a fisherman for Christmas. They'll love them. They'll use them. Fishermen love tackle. Like I said, a variety of colors. You can't buy the wrong colors. They'll use them for something. It doesn't really matter. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video and it was very helpful to you. And leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'll try to leave descriptions of everything in the description box down below. And I hope it works out for you. Let me know. Always keep fishing, and I'll see you in the next episode.